All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to our 8:30 a.m. morning huddle. Jesse here, coming from Mexico today for another day or so, and hopefully going to be out on the road. So we had our company call yesterday, and I wanted to piggyback a little bit on what Tim was talking about. And one of the things really important that we've got coming up here on 8/8/2020, 8/8/2020 is our event. So this is going to be our virtual velocity event. We're getting people registered for this particular event and how important that's going to be. Hang on one sec, guys. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. So on the event, the 8/8/2020, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about kind of the art of promotion. And this is one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid skill set inside of network marketing. And when I look back over the course of my career and getting a chance to learn from, from Tim directly, and Tim is our master distributor, seven-figure income earner. He's the one who helped really kind of start the network marketing side of Seacret in 2010 and 2011 as they started to transition their company from a retail business into a direct sales business, which is amazing. When I met him for the first time, I was like, this guy's insane. He's out of his mind. When I got a chance to get really close to him and see the genius behind what he's been able to produce inside of his life and a couple of the skills that he got really good at. And I want to talk to you about the two skills that were really, really huge with Tim Herr, and the two skills that I really learned from him that allowed him to produce not only a seven-figure income for 20 plus years, but I know he's personally sponsored over a dozen people and helped them earn seven figures. So I don't know anybody in network marketing that's done that. It's pretty incredible when I really think about it, to be able to generate that type of an income, but also to be able to find people. And there was two things that he did more than anybody that I'd ever seen, which is two things, and you write these down, is promoting and recognition. Promoting and recognition. So I want to talk about these two things here today, promoting and recognition, because they are two very, very, very important skills in building a team. Now, this is different than I'm trying to go create 100 customers. You know, if I'm going to create 100 customers, Tim was probably not the guy that you would go to. But if you wanted to learn how to build large organizations and large organizations fast, the two things that he was highly focused on was promoting and recognition. So let's talk about those here today and how you can take your promoting and your recognition skills to the next level. Because I think some people feel like it's somebody else's requirement to do both of these things as if it's somebody else's job. But I want you to take it on as your job. It's not the company's job. It's not your upline's job. It's your job. And when you start taking kind of full responsibility for everything that's happening or not happening inside of your organization, that's when you really get some amazing power of going, okay, I'm driving my school bus. This is my organization. This is my business. I'm building my team. So, and as that starts to happen, where it's like, Angela's like, this is my team. I'm building this thing and I'm creating this and I'm creating this success. And where the people are part of my business, where I'm not relying on somebody else to promote and or recognize my team, I'm doing it first. And then if they're getting it from more people from above, it's just extra showering with love from above, as we call it. But you want to be the person that's really out there doing these two. So let's talk about promoting real quick first, and then we'll talk a little bit about recognition. So promoting is a subject that's not really sexy, but it's the highest paid one. And the reason why is because what we're trying to do is get more people to get involved and engaged. Now, there's a very big difference between an enrolled agent and an engaged agent, okay? And you guys know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of professional joiners out there. How many of you guys know quite a few of these people? They'll professionally join about anything. And but as far as getting them to engage, and that mental engagement is what we're looking for. Because somebody signed up doesn't mean that they're quote unquote in. So how do we transition somebody from being enrolled to being in, and that mental engagement that happens? And that mental engagement that happens is allowing someone to see what's possible for themselves and getting them to the next exposure. So really what happens in the beginning is we're always trying to increase the emotional experience and the height of the experience so what somebody can see something bigger for themselves. So the bigger the event, normally, the bigger the engagement, or the more likely the engagement is going to happen from somebody that is going to participate in building the business. So I want you to think about, many of you, you have a belief system about Seacret at this point, okay? And if I have my Elmo here, I brought it with me so I could draw stuff out. But unfortunately, my computer internet is not working as well as my phone internet, so I can't really draw that out for you guys. But ooh, I have an idea. Okay, on the fly problem solving. Okay, so if you can grab a piece of paper here real quick, I want you to do this. Okay, you have a belief structure about the things that you know in Seacret. Okay, and there are certain things. Okay, so just write this down, your little icon. So there are things that you have read. Okay, so there are things that you have read, plus, okay, there are things that you have seen. That's my eyeball. You like my little eyeball drawing, right? So things that you've read, there are things that you've seen, okay? There are things that you have heard, okay? That's an ear, just deal with it, all right? Just go with it, all right? And there are people that you have met, okay? So there are things that you have read, things that you have seen, things that you have heard, and people that you have met, right? All of these things have given you the conclusion that Seacret is good, right? So Seacret's good. I like it, okay? I like what I've seen. I like what I've felt. I like what I've read. I like who I've met. Therefore, I'm going to engage in spending my time, energy, focus, mentality, and investing into this, right? So what ends up happening a lot of times inside of the business is we have this experience because we've had many experiences, or I should say, we have this feeling because we've had many of experiences that have come together that have created this, right? So when you want somebody to be more engaged, what a lot of people do is this, is they like to tell people, okay, about the things they've read. They like to tell people about the things they've seen. They like to tell people about the things they've heard. Like to tell people the things that people that they've met. Now, this isn't bad. It's okay, but it's not nearly as effective as doing your best to get them not to tell them about these things, but to get them to read the things that you've read, see the things that you've seen, hear the things that you've heard, and meet the people that you've met that have given you the experience and or feeling that Seacret is good, or is a place for you to be able to invest your time. So hopefully this is making sense. So in this, I want you to be thinking about all the different experiences, and then think about the person that you're saying, hey, I want to get this person more engaged. I believe if they were more engaged, they could do very well. And thinking about what else could they read? What else could they see? What else could they hear? Who else could they meet? That would increase the experience, okay? So this is where really coming into third party, okay, third party being very important in the promoting side of the business. So how do we promote these things? Because what we're really trying to do is get ourselves out of the way and have it not be about us. And Tim is masterful at this, okay? So when it comes to the difference between promoting and announcing, he talked about this yesterday, okay? Right? Announcing is making a post on social media. Announcing is sending a text. And although that's better than not doing anything at all, it's definitely not promoting. So promoting, and back in the day, promoting for us is we had when we did our kind of key performance indicators in our business, if you were a leader in our business, you made a minimum of 25 promoting phone calls on Sunday. That was something that we did to promote for whatever was coming up this week, whether it was a conference call, whether it was an event. Now, the structure when I first learned network marketing was really based on, before social media and all this, was based on going from event to event. So you would go from a event weekly in your city to an event usually monthly in your region, and then a monthly event in your region to go to a convention where you can see like the bigger picture. And the bigger the event, the bigger the belief, right? Now, what's going to be happening here on 8/8/2020 is going to be, I believe, the biggest event in North America that Seacret's ever had, because financially it doesn't require people to fly into town for them to experience it. Now, it does change, because if you're listening to a concert in your room versus a concert with 2,000 people, the energy is different. However, the content is going to be spectacular. But pushing people to a bigger event and a bigger experience is really important. That's why 8/8 is really important. But announcing and promoting. Announcing is kind of who, what, when, where. So write this in your notes. Announcing is who, what, when, where. Promoting is why. Who, what, when, where, but promoting is why. Why do they need to be there? What's the importance of them being there? Why is this event so significant? This has never happened before, never happen again, right? One of the analogies that we always talked about was you want to be kind of the Don King of promoting. Don King is a guy who made millions of dollars promoting fights that were going to be over in like 9 seconds, but people would show up and right when it ended, he'd be promoting the next fight. You can't wait for the next fight. It's going to be crazy. And here's a guy who made millions and never got hit in the face, right? He never was the one that was actually in the ring. Now, this isn't to Don King's character or that particular sport, but if you look at the people that have done really well, is promoting, is getting people to the event. Why was this so significant for me? This was so significant for me because while I learned to be good at the skills inside of our business, I was able to leverage on the third party of people that were much more skilled than me. Getting someone to the event on 8/8 and having them watch all of that information. Who do you think is better at teaching people leadership, me or John C. Maxwell? And I know some of you are thinking me, and I love you for that. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's John C. Maxwell. Are you kidding me? Give me a flipping break, right? Whatever I can do to get people in front of John. So what happens is this. If I can be a promoter and get somebody to watch John C. Maxwell, and John C. Maxwell can increase their leadership or get them to see and or believe something bigger, my business increases not because of my leadership training skills, because of my promoting skills, right? Let's say I am not good at getting lots of customers. I'm just not good at it. It's not my thing. I'm not great at it. But I can promote to get my team on 8/8/2020. And I've got a woman that is on here that she goes and she listens to Erica Boylan. And she listens to Erica Boylan, who's one of the #1 product sellers in the world of Seacret, crushing it, right? She's amazing. And all of a sudden she learns how to do that. Now, I have now someone on my team that has become a better product seller, not because I was good at product sales, because I was a good promoter. This is why when you look at promoting and why it's one of the best, highest paid skill sets is because you get to promote to use other people's skill sets to train your team. Okay. So using this in promoting. So who, what, when, where, why. A good example of why is if you don't know why the person is really doing the business that you're promoting to, you have no right to promote to them. This is very important. This is very, very important. If you don't know why, good example, if I don't know why Donna is doing the business, I cannot authentically promote for her to come to the event. And the reason why to be on the event, to take time out of her day, because if I don't know why she should be at the event, I'm not promoting for her reasons, I'm promoting for my reasons. And that is not influence, that's manipulation. I'm doing it for my own benefit. I'm not doing it for her benefit. So if that's the first case, if I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've got my list of people and I'm going to be promoting the 8th, and I'm not just going to send them a text, I'm going to call them and I'm going to talk to them about this event and how important this event is and let them know why I'm so excited about it. Okay. But if I don't know, then ask, say, Donna, listen, hey, could you just refresh my memory? Like, what is it that you really want to get out of this business? What is it you really want to get out of this business? And she's going to share with me, oh, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, I'm looking for this. Whatever those reasons are, my financial freedom, my security, I want to be able to take care of this, take care of that. I say, perfect. I say, listen, those are the reasons why you need to make sure that you're there on 8/8. If getting to this, if getting to that, if getting to this retirement is the reasons why you are doing the business, right, is many of the answers and the shortening your learning curve is going to happen at this event. So what I like to do is I use lots of different analogies. As you guys know, you guys probably have heard them many times, but I talk about learning a language, total immersion. Okay. Can you learn a language by, studying 30 minutes a day? Yeah, of course you can. You learn a language. But one of the fastest ways to learn a language, as any of you guys know, is drop yourself into a country and that only speaks that language. It's kind of like, if you take an English-speaking child, put them in a Spanish-speaking family, they will speak Spanish. Not by choice. Their environment will dictate that. And so what this event is, this is an all-inclusive environment is if you want to get around all the people that are winning, all the people that are having success inside of Seacret, this is the place for it. This is where you can really shorten your learning curve and have this total immersion, okay? So now, generally speaking, what we're fighting when we're promoting conventions and knowing the importance is two things: time and money. Those are two huge obstacles that most people have as either excuses and or issues, and they're valid for some people, to be able to get to a convention in Phoenix and fly from, New York, or fly from Canada to come down, whether it's cost and time away from family and kids. This one, you don't really have many of those excuses for people to lean on, right? So if somebody's saying they can't block out for a free event on the day, then obviously they might not be really that excited or interested in the business. But who, what, when, where is announcing. Why is promoting. Find out why they're doing the business, what it is that's important to them. And when you can start connecting and people start understanding that access to your why is available through these events, because it's true. Where are you going to get the skills, the information, and getting them to understand that it's not just about them participating in the event, but how many people they can get to participate in the event. Because what will happen is if you get 10 people on this event, somebody's lights are going to go on. And it's what's going to happen. Someone's flip is going to switch and they're going to go bananas. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not of your making. Something will happen. Somebody will say something. And a lot of times it's not even a training. It's like a testimonial. And somebody will say something going like, she did what? And it'll be like a split second. It's just like slip, like the lights will go on. And it'll be somebody that you'll relate to. Be like, wait a minute, like my excuse was I have 3 kids. I don't know if I can do this. And my kids are all young. They're all under 10. And then somebody will come on with like 5 kids under 5. And you're like, how's that possible? They had twins. I don't know. But you get it, right? Well, they'll say something and all of a sudden it will be like explosive. So there's that, okay? The next thing is recognition. I want to talk a little bit about this because we could talk more and more about promoting, and we're going to because it is by far one of the most, the number one paid skill set. I'd say problem solving is probably number 1. Promoting is probably number 2, right? When it comes to leadership positions inside of building your network marketing career. But let's go over recognition. So, recognition is one of those things. They say, babies cry for it, and men and women die for it. And as we continue to grow, everybody has a really internal driving factor of being enough or being important or being significant, okay? And it's something that for some people, it's super high on their list. And for the people that say, I don't need recognition, I don't need it, are usually the ones who need it the most, I have found out. But what's interesting is that we all struggle with feeling enough, feeling worthy, feeling valued. And a lot of times the people that you think that are super confident, usually that's compensating for just their own insecurities. And I know what that was like in my early 20s. It was like, I had to win, and people saw that as confidence. But my having to win was to prove that I was enough. So there's so many different levels of this, but I want you to be really important as activity kind of rewarded is activity that gets repeated. So you want to be reinforcing the activities that you want to be seeing in your business and recognizing that and rewarding that inside of your business. And there's really nothing too insignificant to really recognize and or reward. And I really learned this from Tim. Tim, when I first got started in my first company, was much more suit and tie. Suit and tie. We used even last names. I was called Mr. Macpherson for my entire 20s. Super weird. When I see somebody from my previous company, they will still call me Mr. Macpherson. And I was like, I was 20. That's weird. At the time, I didn't think it was that weird. Now, super weird. But that was just the culture of the company. Okay? And professional respect. I was dealing with attorneys and suit and ties. But the reason why I share that with you is when I met Tim, Tim broke the mold for me as to what the network marketer traditionally was like. Because I only knew people from my company, and it was pretty much kind of very like clean cut. This is what you did. This is how you looked. This is how you dressed. This is how you acted. And Tim was so opposite of that because there was almost like this very status looking up to. And Tim, we were doing these meetings, and Tim, what he would do is he would come around and he would take pictures of everybody at the event. And I'm talking about, there was 100 people, 200 people. We would do these meetings in Orange County, and he would take pictures of everybody. And he would be like, oh my God, you're the man, you're the man, you're the man, you're the woman, you're the one. Like, you can't hang up the phone with Tim without him saying, "You're the man." So now I try to beat him to it. I'm always like, "You're the man," and I'll hang up. Because he'll always do this, always, like without fail. But one of the things I was like, he's taking all these pictures, and like for a while, like a lot of people would be like, they thought he was the camera guy. And this is before the meeting would start, before the event would start, right? And so he was like, "Oh my God, awesome. You're here with so-and-so. Oh my God, she's the man. He's the man. Oh my God, you're here with so-and-so. That's amazing. Oh my God, I love this guy." Like, he was just building everybody up and taking everybody's pictures. And then what happened is the meeting would start, and maybe I would do part of it or whatever. And then we would, and then if Tim got up to speak, and then everyone was like, "The camera dude is making $1 million a year?" Like, I just remember, like, you could see people's faces go, "Huh?" And here's what was crazy. Tim would go home that night, and I swore he must have stayed up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, maybe later. And he would upload all the pictures to our Facebook group, okay, our Facebook page, and he would find the people, and he would tag every single one of them, like everyone, and he would do it every week, right? And I mean, it wouldn't be weeks. He would do it that night, and I'm not talking about tagging the agents. He would find the guests. How did he? I don't know. Maybe he took the sign-in sheet, or because everyone had name tags, so they had their name tag, and he would find them online because they were mutual friends. I honestly don't even know how he did it, right? So, but he would find them and he would tag them, and it was like, "Hey, nice to meet you. So, hopefully we'll get to work together." And I just remember thinking to myself, like, if I was at any age, it didn't really matter. This group of people I remember was particularly young that we were working with, because most of us were really young. And I remember if I was like 27 and I came to a meeting and a guy took my picture, told me I was the man. I don't know this guy from so-and-so. And then I wake up in the morning and I get a tagged picture of me and my friend who invited me saying, "Hey, Jesse, it was so nice to meet you." So I was like, man, like, that makes you feel a certain type of way, like, and just thinking about it today, it's like those, and it didn't cost him anything. It was time. It would cost him some time, but it was like, I was noticed. I was appreciated. I was like, wow, I got more noticed by this stranger who doesn't even know me yet than I do by fill in the blank. You know what I mean? Right? So, and getting that sense of like attention and love and connection and respect, it was just like, it was crazy. And that was one of so many things that Tim did that was great. And what he did is, he just always built people up. Anytime you said you had an idea, he was like, "That's a great idea." Now, I thought all my ideas that I gave Tim were great. Turns out not all of them were great, but he always told them they were great. Because in the beginning, Tim he's a coaches football, and like, I wish I had Tim as a football coach, because it would have been the greatest. Though he gets these kids riled up more than anything. Like, the other team has already lost before the game has started because he gets his team so fired up. It's insane. We call him Tim the Hurricane Her. That's just who he is. But when it came to recognition, one of the things that he did is we would do these Saturday events. And at these Saturday events, what he would do is he would recognize people for almost anything. And what he would do is he would buy trophies. Tim would literally spend, I don't know, $2,000-$3,000 a month on trophies. I don't know where he got them from, but he would buy them and he would get them from trophies. If you got promoted, your first promotion in Seacret used to be, if you get two people, you get one on your right, one on your left, you were called the star. Okay? You would get a trophy. So if you got to executive, you would get a trophy. You got to bronze, you get a trophy, and the trophies kept getting bigger. When I went gold, I got a trophy taller than me. This is not a joke, people. So when you went diamond, you got like one of those world, like a WWE belt, like one of those like belts, like when you went diamond. And he just recognized, and for me, I was like, this is stupid. Like, I was like, dude, I don't need a trophy, bro. I don't need a trophy. That I got at home, I was like, this trophy's kind of cool. Like, even me, I was like, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to make me feel special. And it's working, like, and even I thought it was so silly. I was like, God, Tim, this is a little childish. And he was like, yeah, but if you take care of the child, the man will show up. And I was like, oh God, you know what? For being as weird as you are, you're pretty smart. So because he understood And Tim would be like, Jess, look, I'm not great at a lot of things. I'm not great at making PowerPoint sense. I'm not great at systems. He's like, I'm not as articulate as you. I can't, I'm not as creative as you. And he would say all these things. He's like, but there's two things that I learned because I started network marketing at 17. I had nothing. I remember what it was like sleeping in a car on welfare. You know, I worked at a go-kart track holding the sign on turn 7 that said no bumping with the orange vest. That's what I did before network marketing. I don't have a creative dance background, and I understand how to piece things together and choreograph stuff. I don't have any of that. I played football, and I wasn't even really that good at that, and I worked at a go-kart track. But there was two things, is that I never wanted people to feel less than because of how I felt growing up. So I knew that. I said I never wanted people to feel like I felt growing up, feeling less than or unworthy or not good enough. So, and the second thing, I knew that if I got people to come to the meeting, if I got people to come to the event, if I could get people to see it for themselves, didn't matter how good I was. There were people that were going to become much bigger and much better than me. And that's what I've been doing since I was 17. And I was like, dang, he's like, you kind of unlocked this whole thing. Like, I've been making this more complicated than it really needs to be. And so recognizing. Not only did he do that, but we did recognition. I'll never forget. So we did this for anybody, and I'm talking anybody that got 4 customers. Anybody that got 4 customers, we had a program called Enroll 4, Pay No More. It was at the very beginning of Seacret, where if you had 4 customers, you got like $50 in free product credit. The program now is so much better because it's a percentage of whatever they spend. But back then it was anybody who got 4, we would recognize them. And here's what he would do. And I'm talking like every month. We would go down to the dollar store or a Dollar Tree, Dollar General, 99-cent store, and they had glass frames that you could buy for $1. Okay. And then what we found is you could buy them from corporate, because we ended up having to buy them from corporate and shipping them to the stores because there were so many of them. So we ended up literally buying hundreds and hundreds of glass frames from Dollar General and shipping them to the stores. And he would print out the certificates with their names on it. And then what he would do is he would individually call them to the stage at the recognition section and saying, but you didn't know. Like, it wasn't like set up, you figured out. It's like he would put in the work for the recognition. And he was like, Jess, if I could teach you a couple things, and he didn't really teach this, he just did it. And watching him do it was so impressive. So promoting and recognition, okay? So I want to just kind of challenge you guys here today to think about, how can you better promote to your organization, which is picking up the phone, by the way, it's talking. So promoting is something that you're going to communicate with your emotion, and the why behind why it's important for them to be there. And the why it's important for them to be there is because this is access to the reasons why they're doing the business. Second thing is recognition. Who can you recognize today? Okay. And even if it's for something small, I don't care. Anytime somebody in your team does something, recognize them, send them something on Facebook. Send them a card in the mail. Do something. How can I over-recognize? You can't overdo it. I'm letting you guys know. It's not possible. You can't over-recognize. The only way I believe that you can over-recognize inside of your business is if you're not actually, if you're rewarding non-activity. You know what I mean? So, right? You want to reward them for the things that they're doing. So even if they're attempting, if somebody fails, reward them for failing, because they did it. They did something. They did the activity. Okay. So your lessons for today: promoting and recognizing. Who today can you shower some love on? So let's go show some appreciation to someone in your business. Let them know how much you love them, appreciate them, respect them, and encourage them to keep on moving, keep on fighting the good fight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.